Ну, так, это вроде было видно. Всем привет, если что, сейчас я все объясню. Ой, блядь. Ой, блядь, я просто не хотел запариться сейчас с настройками, хотел сейчас зайти быстренько в NVIDIA, чтобы он там поставила нормальные настройки. В общем, жесткий диск у меня как-то, ну, совсем уж так себе работает. Надеюсь, там, если что, со звуком совсем нормально, да? Так себе нормально, да? Так себе нормально. Угу. Плюс-минус нормально. Это музыка та же, которая и была. Это ОБС, он как-то обновлен. Ну если так посмотреть, просто там тема другая была, да? Угу. Ну, как-то так, да, пусть будет так. Ну давай уже обновляйся до конца. Так вот, все совсем. Но мне нужно, короче, там 2-3. Сколько там было, надо посмотреть. Сколько там мне уровней Battle Pass надо. Ой, чтобы получить клятву Рианы. Там, кстати, новый сезон вот начинается. Там много всякого интересного дерьма. Но угадайте. А мне как-то нельзя будет играть. Не смогу, короче. Ой, так. Да, мне, короче, можно и прям и в этот. В смысле? Steam добавить. Этот компьютер. Файл Steam. Ну. Тут этот Steam проверить. В смысле? Ты чё? Серьезно? Ладно, давай так. Хуй ты белый значок ты. Хуй значок белый. Удалю значок, новый поставлю. Ну хер ли он белый. Управление, ярлык. А хер ли он белый? Чего он белый? Устюки. Видео. Welcome back. Ага, спасибо. Расширенное. Ультра. Высокая. Высокая. Двойной. Давай оставлю двойной. Режим. Увеличение степени фильтрации улучшает цвет текстур в игре, но может привести к падению производительности. Вот это. Устраняет эффект лесенки по краям геометрических фигур. Максимально добавляет. Игра 11 года. Я сейчас все на максимум выкручу. Мне как-то похер будет. Двойной версия позволяет добиться компромисса между качеством изображения и откликом мышц. Для наилучшего впечатления от игры тройную уменьшить тот, поэтому визуальный разрыв. Я двойной. Это как бы баланс. Звук тип 2 динамика, 4 наушники. Качество высоко. Только субтитры, полные комментарии. Наушники. Окей, нет. Один раз тыкни просто. И куда весь звук делся? Слышь, куда делся звук? Там не буду трогать. Ой, это заебали эти двойные клики, как я их ненавижу. Сука, заебал, мышка. Ой, ну короче, в общем, купил одну херни. Там надо еще уже другую, потому что та какая-то сломалась. В общем, в итоге, блядь, никогда не заканчивайся чая загрузка. Короче, купил какой-нибудь там крутую видеокарту, хуя в жесткий диск навернулся. Купил жесткий диск, вроде бы и сам все докупил нормально, все хуяк, мышку надо покупать. То есть, в общем, мне
This is the story of a man
история
named
о человеке по
Stanley.
имени Стэнли.
Stanley worked for a company
Стэнли
in a
работал
big
в
building
компании
where he
большом
was
здании и
employee
был там
number
рабочим
427.
727.
Employee number
Задача
427's
рабочего была
job was
проста. Он
simple.
сидел за
He
столом в
sat at his
комнате
desk in
и
room
нажимал кнопки на
427
клавиатуре.
and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on
Приказы
his
шли с
desk,
экрана на
telling
его
him
столе.
what
В них
buttons to
указывалось, какие
push,
кнопки
how
надо
long
нажать,
to
как
push
долго
them,
их держать
and in
и в
what
каком
order.
порядке.
This is what employee 427
Рабочий
did
делает это
every
каждый день,
day,
каждого месяца,
every
каждого
month
года. А
of
если
every
кого-то
year.
работа
And although
могла
others
стать
might have
значит для
considered it
кого-то,
soul-ending, Stanley relished
Стэнли
every
радовался
moment that
каждый
the
раз,
orders
когда
came,
поступали приказы,
as
словно
though
он
he
был
had been made
специально создан для
exactly
этой
for this
работы.
job. And Stanley was happy.
Был счастлив. Тут
And then
все-таки,
one day,
но
something
однажды
very
случилось
peculiar
нечто
happened.
очень странное.
Something that would forever
Нечто, что
change
навсегда
Stanley.
изменит Стэнли.
Something he would never quite
Нечто, что
forget.
не сможет забыть.
He had been at his desk for
Он сидел
nearly
за
an
своим
hour when
столом
he
почти час,
realized
когда
that not
внезапно
one
осознал, что ни
single
единого
order
приказа с
had
экрана для
arrived on
него
the
не
monitor for
поступало.
him to follow. No one had showed up to give him
Никого
instructions,
не пришел
call a
дать ему
meeting,
указания, позвать
or
на
even
совещание
say
или просто
hi.
поздороваться. За все годы
Never
работы
in
в
all
компании
his
такого не
years at the
случалось.
company had this
Такой
happened,
полной
this
изоляции.
complete isolation. Something was very clearly
Что-то было явно не
wrong.
так. Стэнли абсолютно
Shocked,
шокирован и
frozen
долгое время не
solid,
мог сдвинуться с
Stanley
места.
found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his
Но
wits
потом
and
пришел в себя,
regained his
забрался и встал
senses,
за
he
стола и
got
вышел
up
в
from his
коридор.
desk and stepped out of his office.
Все. Все. Чего? You can change. Ты можешь поменять что-то там. В Steam, короче, язык. В смысле? Ну давай, может сейчас на русском запустится. Свойства, наверное. Что это? Иди нахер. Свойства где? Угу. Вот. Используют общие настройки, глобальные настройки ввода. Язык русский. Ой, отстань. Все, пошли. Все, погнали. Опа! Поудобнее сяду. Надо чувствительность мышки поднять. Вот так вот. Сойдет. Чувствую звук. Можно и на Е тыкать. Как-то вот вправо и влево, но такое ощущение, что по-разному.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Все его коллеги
What could it
исчезли.
mean?
Как же так случилось?
Станлey decided to go to the
Станлey
meeting
решил
room.
пойти в
Perhaps he had simply
конференц-зал,
missed a
может он
memo.
просто пропустил уведомление. Так, ну я сразу, если что, сделаю кое-что.
No matter how hard
Как
Stanley
Стэнли не
looked, he
старался, он
couldn't
не мог
find a
найти
trace of
следа
his
своих коллег.
co-workers.
Опа, я выключу.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a
Но это
single
ни на что не
difference,
влияло,
nor
никак не
did it
двигало
advance
историю
the
вперед.
story in any way.
Я кое-что покажу, окей. Я где-то это видел, но уже не помню где. Там это как-то, короче, надо забраться. Как-то что-то сделать, и, короче, в окно можно вылезти. В каком-то из офисов. Прыгать я не могу, если что. Может, допустим, в другом как-то. Бегать я не умею. Еще я, блять, на катке. Да, мне это нравится. Так, ну давай выключать все компы, а то что, они работают. Опа. Серьезно, вот я вот так назад это тыкнул, опа, он улетел просто в космос. 56. Ладно. Пошли. Сейчас мы там и окажемся, да? Нет. Опа. Блин, тут всяких проходов куча.
When Stanley came to a
Когда
set
Стэнли
of two
подошел к
open
двум открытым
doors,
дверям,
he
он
entered
вошел
the
в
door on
дверь
his
слева.
left.
Мы пошли в дверь слева. Пошли в дверь слева. Я думаю, одна из дверей все же когда-то откроется.
Yet there was not a single person
Но и
here
тут никого не
either.
было.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer
Надеждой
there.
найти ответы там. Паник. Вот видишь, паник. Так, ну... Где эта фигня проектирующая вверху? Я не смогу ее выключить, ладно. Ладно. Опа.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Правильный путь. Что здесь? Я могу брать вещи как-то в руки?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Пошел наверх, окей. Опять скользю тут. Скользю. Вот смотри. Так, оба! Оба меня заносит просто. Так, он выключен. Закрыта подушечка.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Об этом не мог. 2845, да? Пианинка. Я как-то забрался на него. Все же в начальном офисе там где-то надо было. Вот, видишь, я же как-то забрался.
Станley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
А где этот код? 2845.
2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Этот каток меня как-то немного даже раздражает. Так, вот эта штука, она тоже отодвигается. Видишь, она как-то выпирается по сравнению с другими. Мне кажется, если ввести какой-то другой код, то там откроется другая панелька. Это игра про то, где миллиарды всяких путей, всяких секретных штук. Типа там я мог пойти направо в двери, мог пойти вниз. Мог сейчас набрать какой-нибудь другой код, но его, в принципе, знать надо. Опа. А я куда-то иду? Иду. Нет. Не иду. Тут тоже ничего нету. Зато садиться могу. Опа. 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 Загрузка. Угу. А где это мое, которое...
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now? When for years it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long.
Не ответьте надолго. Сейчас. Погодите немного. Даже в рифму сказал. Вот это. Все. Так, все, я теперь могу мониторить чат. Я открыл на телефоне свой стрим. Погнали.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
На котором было написано станция управления сознанием. Я могу пойти сейчас туда, кстати. Но пойду прямо. Пройду сначала по основному сюжету, прямо как он говорит, потом буду уже делать всякую фигню.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Опа. Видишь, мониторчик там тут сбежал. Он даже сам за собой следил. Pirate. Вот это вот Pirate, это что? Я уже забыл, не помню, да. Но номера остаются теми же.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Не сюда, да? Да. Павер. Ну давай. Как он сказал, так и сделал. Но чё бы нет. Ну, смотрим концовку, что ли? Он мне сейчас
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Получилось?
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Это не дверь, а монитор, потому что это экран.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Классная концовка, мне нравится. Но вряд ли beat the game. Типа повредить, сломать игру. Бит. Не помню. Точно. Все, это мы заново начинаем. Значит, все-таки вот здесь
All of
надо
his co-workers
вылезти.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Я
missed a memo.
попытаюсь залезть. Я
No
видел
matter how
где-то,
hard Stanley
что можно
looked,
здесь
he
залезть,
couldn't
но
find
как
a
я
trace
уже
of
не
his
помню.
co-workers.
Типа, может... 814.1. 81.41. Опа. А, это корп. Так, давайте я возьму. Опа, иди сюда. Наконец-то блокнотик пригодится. Это скорее даже не блокнотик. Открою. Страничку ненужную тут. Чистенькую какую-нибудь вот эту, да? Да, теперь мне нужна ручка. Секунду. Я просто буду записывать много всего. Всякие кнопки, точки, не знаю. Это не то. Сейчас. Угу. Ага. 814 и 1.
Stanley stood for a long time in one spot. It's part of the game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing excellent. And if he just stays right where he is, I'm sure he'll keep up that good momentum. Let's observe the genius at work.
Да. А вы что хотели? Работать профессионал. Через вот этот стол, по-моему, надо забраться. Но как точно, я не помню. А, ну вот, все. И как-нибудь туда еще надо пробраться. Так, я упал. Оба. Это секрет.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Тебе надоело?
Нет. Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Типа... Да, нажать, что ли? это все. Чутка коротенько как-то. Слишком коротенько, давай другой вариант. Не, ну я серьезно. Там
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
С этими скачками очень тяжело как-то залезать. Я так и не понял, почему он как-то так не залезает. Ну, почти залез, давай. Как-то из вот этого угла, теперь сюда, теперь сюда. Да, все. Да, стенка.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Сейчас я дойду сюда, если.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet? Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
Это заново, да, идет песня? А где окошки? А тут ничего нету вообще. А, есть вот окошки. Все, он просто играет. Да. Ну все, это зацикленная херня. Погнали дальше. Угу. Так, ну эти мы
All of his
посмотрели.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Пойду, я начну тыкать просто все цифры, которые найду четырехзначные.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
814.1. 814.1. Окей, а тут еще, по-моему, был компьютер, нет? Нет. Не выключенный который. А, подожди, я еще же где-то видел, что там, по-моему, какая-то дверь, и через нее можно пройти, просто присев. Ну, сейчас, короче... У меня ж память хорошая, сейчас вспоминаю кучу всякого дерьма и все. Либо это вообще из другой игры, но... Либо серьезно, какой-то из дверей можно пройти, просто присев. Типа вот, например, вот там на столе я мог пройти только присев. Серьезно. Это и отсюда, да? О, это, короче, отсылка. Ой, это отсылка. Отсылка. Кто понял? Понятно, да? Понятно? Это ж отсылка. Это та самая отсылка. Ну я, в принципе, и здесь могу только 50 пройти. Это, короче, отсылка к игре под названием... Опа! Input reserved. Я куда-то тыкнул. То есть... Я там куда-то тыкнул и, короче... Так вот тут один этот появился. Ну... Я прыгать не могу. You can jump. Серьезно? В 20-м. You can jump, мне сказали. Там достижение что было. Input reserve. Вет. Еси вет. Пошли сюда, короче.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Если серьезно, какую-то фигню решить-то? Может, какую-нибудь букву серьезно так нажать? Типа цифр, может быть. Может, 419. 420. 421. 422. 23, 24, 25. Ну это, короче, тут загадка, да. Я пока без понятия, как решить, но тут еще телефончик. Сейчас я буду, короче, тыкать все, смотреть все. Мы как бы главный сюжет прошли. Серьезно. Это отсюда или нет? А если я просто, конечно, не могу утверждать прям 100%, но возможно, все-таки в каком-то месте карты можно просто пройти.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Вот вдоль стенки так походить, там вот 3 проход пусть будет, например. Мы ходили в прошлый раз влево. Есть вариант зачистить лево почти полностью. Есть вариант сходить справа. Давай самое очевидное, я слева пойду. Самое очевидное слева. Я надеюсь, текстурки выделятся, ну, будут выделяться, если можно будет пройти. Очень буду на это надеяться. Хотя это же игра там, где надо секреты искать. Какие игры были еще с кучей прям секретов?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
В доску войти. Куда-нибудь есть проход какой-нибудь. Ну, возможно, я путаю это с какой-то игрой.
Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Угол сюда не могу. Ну тут прям вообще ничего нет. Хотя можно, может, чуть тыкнуть можно. Опа, ядерная проволока. Почему бы и нет? Я просто тыкаю на все, что можно. Объекты я брать не могу, прыгать я тоже не могу. Погнали. А мы ходили наверх.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Наверх, но... Блин, за мной же дверь закроют. А, она открывается? Серьезно? Опа. Она открывается. Серьезно? I've got the... But not you, of course. Я взял что-то там. Может, деньги для скиллинг, без понятия, что это такое, но не ты, наверное, конечно. Так, это были там, кто прям профессионально владеет английским, могут там перевести, понять что-нибудь. Опа. Могу выпасть в это окно. Ну, погнали. Опа. 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 Ну там лестница же была. Опа. Что если вот... А, ну все, мне заперли. Что если вот одна из таких вот штучек, она откроется как дверь? Угу, ну пойдем с этой стороны. Да, и сюда можно там. А, это панда. Графики. Ну, конечно, так быть. Лифт. Так, ну погнали сначала сюда, а потом только сюда.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Конечно, не мог об этом подумать. Так, нет, я оставлю, как бы вдруг где-нибудь еще есть что-то.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. he stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Ладно. Пошли сюда, там вроде ничего нету. Сейчас пойдем вниз. Там была escape, можно было там в конце нажать включить машину. В смысле? Так, блядь. Да нет, все работает. Может в чате даже что-нибудь новое есть. Ну, в чате, я думаю, как минимум синхронизирован с этим. Имба, уже 10 часов с половиной. Ну и ладно.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
А я пойду в самую дальнюю херню. Я пойду ее включу. А потом, только мы потом еще придем сюда, я пойду туда.
The lights rose on
там
an enormous
по-любому
room
еще
packed
будет
with
несколько
television
путей.
screens. What horrible
короче,
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Так вот, постепенно, скажем, мы пройдем всю игру, проходить мы ее будем долго на стримах, потому что
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
можно их будет пройти на самом-то деле. Комплект купил.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Я знаю, что сейчас будет, примерно хотя бы. Так, там один, там два. Сейчас я быстренько посмотрю расположение всех кнопок. Мне их надо будет тыкать. 1, 2, там у нас 4. Вроде бы 4, там 5, где 3. Где тройка? Или там тройка? Там 4, тут 5. А где тройка? Сейчас я быстренько найду тройку и мы пойдем включим машину. Вот это, да, тройка. Да. Все, я знаю, где что находится. Бегать я не могу. Сейчас я ее включу.
And when at last he found the source of...
Я включил.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do, for example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent. Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Sold? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Все, как-то так. Там были нарисованы кнопки, я их тыкал, но там еще цветные были кнопки, я их тоже тыкал. Вроде бы там, не знаю, надо будет еще как-нибудь попытаться, но как-нибудь позже.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Опа, а сейчас этой фигни нет. А она теперь тут. Прикинь. Надо перезапускать игру каждый раз, и тогда я смогу протыкать эту концовку.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Сейчас мы пойдем в лифт. Нет, мы сначала пойдем туда на
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might have coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Потом после того мы пойдем куда?
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Я все равно бегатство. Пианино.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Зашел в проход. Сейчас пойду вниз. Так, ну там нам делать нечего. Сейчас я спущусь, пойду на тот первый выход. Там еще будет. Еще всего. Я более чем уверен.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Это, по-моему, действительно так и есть.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Конечно, надеюсь, здесь вообще скримеров каких-нибудь ужастиков. Опа.
As the machine whirred into motion, and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Это все помещение, это все загадки, это все ответы, это все, короче, ответы, это нормально. Это титры, это еще какая-то фигня. Button sounds, это выбор звука, использование тыкнутой. Что-то там звуки, когда тыкаешь кнопку. Они серьезно различаются по звуку. Офисы. 3 офиса. 2 двери. Я думаю, здесь будет что-то, что будет этот. Типа, например, когда вот эту фигню закончу, типа, выводить. Офис компьютерс. Я их выключил. Так, это я рассмотрю чуть позже. Компьютер Стэнли. Потыкал. Это картинки всякие. Все картинки в игре. Так, это мой офис. Я выхожу сюда. Это вот это вот. Офис layout. Типа выход. Чертеж, показывающий офис, из которого начинается игра. Путь от офиса Стэнли до 2 дверей. Это первая часть игры, которая была сделана. Секция была добавлена, и что там сделано с ней. Короче, это самая первая локация, которую сделали разработчики. Коридор. Там что-то про поворот направо. Типа постоянно направо, туда что ли? Слушай, у меня же есть перевод. Вот это фотоперевод. Давай я переведу прям, чтоб точно так было. Хотя бы примерно. Я просто как-то слишком примерно это все понимаю. Слишком. Прям вообще слишком. Шагание этой открывающейся секции было важно, чтобы получить право. Этот коридор был перемещен и изменен, чтобы убедиться, что игрок достигнет 2 дверей в хорошее время. Типа там офис, который что-то там был, который типа вот это фигня, она на самом-то деле не нужна, там просто коридор. Набор из 2 открытых дверей был самой первой бетонной деталью дизайна притчи Стэнли. Как только эта комната была создана, остальная часть игры появилась как продолжение ее исследования противоречия, которое эта комната поставила. Окей, погнали налево, потому что там справа? Справа еще какая-то открытая фигня. Пошли налево. Ой, тут это офис. Ранняя версия комнаты, типа какой-то там. Main tenants. Наверное, типа контроллера. Нет, это другое. The point of the... Короче, тут всякие новости. Да, Greenlight, видишь. Warzone. Короче, в раннем доступе была фигня, короче, на поле боя с пришельцами. Есть в игре там что-то... Блять, у меня же есть перевод. Что я тут пытаюсь? Все, что можно сделать, намного легче. В начале разработки мы разработали концовку, которая Стэнли оказался бы на поле боя, сражаясь с инопланетянами. Действие игры станет разумным и будет вести войну против рассказчиков. Вскоре после чего, как мы начали строить... Вскоре после того, как мы начали строить его, мы поняли, что это было бы слишком шутливо и на носу для тона игры. Кроме того, некоторые люди интерпретировали это как высмеивание людей, которые любят стрелков, что не входило в наше намерение. Короче, там из-за этой фигни люди высмеяли там кого-то, и поэтому это убрали. Насколько я понял. Но войну против рассказчика я провел бы. У меня на эти тики, которые... Это уже все. Это уже все, это античембер. От Джеймса. Это, короче, письма от разработчиков. Да, еще одну покажу, кому надо переведут, там типа, ну да, большой какой-нибудь. Еще одна, давай. Да, следующий, давай. Вот. Все, я пошел. Все комнаты, которые были закрыты. Это офис Стэнли. Типа ранний доступ. Этот уровень. Короче, тут хотели добавить такой уровень, наверное, или он есть. Либо хотели добавить, либо он есть. Итак. Это комната чего-то там. Ранняя версия Countdown Room. А, это скорее всего типа вот это контроля разума. Это концовка освобождения. Была добавлена в бете. В одной из столов, наверное, ранее была... Короче, можно было вовремя подойти и тыкнуть на кнопку, скорее всего. Типа я это все в игре могу найти, да? Выход. Все это в игре могу я найти. Это в Альфе было. Часы. Офис босса. Мебель. Под землей. Типа ранняя версия. Это, короче, есть вот артбуки. Чего? А, это типа... Войс диктатора. А, наращен это рассказчик, окей. Записанные кем-то там. Короче, вот эти фразы, они не использовались в этой версии игры последней. Фразы всякие. Окей. Это тупиковая комната. Я сейчас пройду заодно через вот эту. А, это не тупиковая комната. Так, ну мы посмотрели все. Сейчас зайду в ту центральную комнату, и мы пройдем дальше. Вот сюда. Что-то там был какой-то таймер, чтобы взять телефон, или там была другая концовка. Карголифт. Вторая версия функционального. Как? Что там в финальной игре? Версия игры. Короче, там что-то карголифт, короче. А это первая, наверное, версия, да? Наверное, да. Опа, и тут еще что-то. Meeting room. Опа. Это все одинаково? Нет. One option, two option, one event. Смотри. Первый выбор. Налево пойдешь обе. Здесь обе. Stairs Cage, там будет лаунж. Второй выбор. То же самое, но как бы добавится еще один проход. Что там для концовки? Что-то там для другой чего-то там, где спрятано, что-то там. Короче, там, да. To confusion ending. И тут, и тут. И тут тоже. И тут вентиляция еще есть. А вон там еще confusion ending есть. Я не буду это читать, там ну я сейчас пойдем направо, если что. А нет, мы еще вниз не сходили. Тут еще какая-то зона была. Это какая была менюшка? Так, окей, там я был. Сейчас пойдем сюда. Опа. Трейлер. Все, погнали, короче. На выход. Погнали на выход. Ага. Все, погнали.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't
давайте времени. Опа. Все, там как бы титры заканчивались. Какие титры? Вот эти субтитры. Такие титры.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Когда-нибудь сможет увидеть погоду. Что там? Конца нет, типа... Конца не существует, и... А тему этот-то... Ну и ладно. Сейчас мы пойдем быстренько пролетим налево. Там у нас...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Он ушел в дверь слева, да. Так, сейчас...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Whiteboard manager. что там с белой доской связано. Сейчас я пойду, короче, наверх.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
Там
office.
направо в лифт, потом посмотрим, смотря что там будет. Там... Сейчас я спущусь куда-нибудь. Бесконечно лифт, да, какой-нибудь. Стэнли. Не исключено. Бывает там что-то. Там что-то поет. А, это лифт просто с песенкой, что ли? Погнали еще. Это просто лифт с песенкой. Давай начнем заново. Это никогда не закончится, мне опять пишут.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Я сейчас могу зайти в эту дверь. Дайте мне вот эту мою кнопочную панельку. У нас, кстати, еще не было концовки.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Пошли. Надо было сходить туда до конца, в конец.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Давай сейчас пойду ту концовку, мне что-то раздавили. И тут мы зачистим почти полностью, останется только лишь та концовка.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
2, 8, 4, 5. А, новый пароль. А, он мне сразу открыл, да? Да, я так и знаю. Сейчас я пойду налево. Меня раздают до конца. Потом пойдем вниз. По лестнице. И там дальше я не знаю, что будет.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Моментально, то она не жестокая. Смерть жестокая, это там, где, например, четвертование.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Окей. Надо сейчас ждать, пока там все расставится.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Все, она договорила. Ну, просто послушать, как она там болтает. В принципе, мы ее больше не услышим, потому что... Сейчас еще услышим, да.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose.
Выйти. Ну давай. Опа. И выход. Мне, по идее, должны дать концовку. И я сейчас типа должен был сейчас зайти в игру. И сейчас мне должны были дать ачивку типа вот добро пожаловать снова сюда, да? Ну чё, сбегаем еще раз туда или типа не надо?
This is the story of... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Блин, я хочу узнать, что там будет дальше, и, во-первых, во-вторых...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange, this can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too, surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
В порядке. Опа, это там же, где мы и были.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She rose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and
Потом
ran.
развернулась и побежала. Конец. Окей. Слева только осталось дождаться, пока мне...
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Всё, пошли дальше. Я не хочу там снова шастать, слушать что-то еще.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he and this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Она ждала. Кто? Работа, да? Я знаю, что еще вон туда можно пойти. Вроде бы спрыгнуть можно. Ну давай, погнали сюда. Пошли.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To read.
Ты, если кому-то можешь доверить, возьми трубку. Был таймер сначала. Сейчас типа без таймера, просто взять трубку.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Stanley,
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pouring a bread out of the oven.
Только вот хлеб и спички достаю. Ладно, уже иду.
Okay, there we go. All right, now I want you to come in and tell me all about
You're doing. Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Доброе утро, работник. Нажмите N на клавиатуре.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls, and down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby, and he called it the Stanley Parable.
Смотри, видишь? Тут все меняется, я тыкаю, и тут все меняется под офис.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Я не буду нажимать. Окей. Часики тикают. Время нереальное. Я просто подожду. Давай минуту подожду.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time a screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Если сейчас нажму 9, игры, ну, перезапустится, да, все. Все, я пошел на работу.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Все, это заново, да? Ага. А я мог, в принципе, не нажимать кнопку и типа прям вот очень долго все это делать.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Сейчас мы пойдем. коридор другой, кстати. Коридор другой. Мне такой больше нравится, на самом деле.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Давай я схожу туда, меня раздает это все, и мы точно окончательно закончим с этой, и все.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark seek into the opened passageway?
Это мы сюда идем за этот стрим. За этот стрим это последний раз, который мы сюда идем. Я зайду, посмотрю, что они там может
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Сейчас мы упадем вниз, там надо подождать, пока захлопнется, пройти там надо будет тыкнуть, а потом типа подождать, пока меня до конца убьют. Смотрим.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Я, в принципе, не фанат хоть чего-то. Прям вот сильно не фанатею вообще ни с чего.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Но если брать в понятие то, что типа, ой, ебать, там новый фильм вышел, все, пойду смотреть, что там, билеты только через месяц начнут продать, так какая нафиг разница, я сейчас пойду забронирую на первый фильм.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see how much they need one another?
Если так, то нет. Ну, конечно, медь я бы купил.
Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Типа брелочки,
Listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time choose.
Все, давай, спавним. Мы наконец прошли все, что можно. Все, что можно было, мы прошли. Надеюсь, я. Там, конечно, есть еще по-любому, как минимум, одна концовка. Я в этом просто уверен. Какая-нибудь секретная комнатка, путь какой-нибудь. Ой, не говори, что мне надо перезапускать самому игру, да? Там же этой фигни не будет, и мне придется, типа... Что-нибудь. Ладно. Погнали. Так. Кабинет мой.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Он просто пропустил уведомление.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Я не могу подойти к картине. Опа. Там было что-то написано про белую whiteboard. Welcome to whiteboard engine. Консоль Bark. Настройки экстра сейвс ачивменты. Включено, ладно, сейвс выключено. Пусть будет. Все, концовка с белой этой. Если я сейчас типа в той комнате перезапустил бы игру, я так и сделаю, потому что мне нужен компьютер. Все, закроем. Начать игру сначала. И, ну давай. Все.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Опять нет ее. Она либо на другом каком-то компьютере, либо...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Стэн зашел вперед, дверь слева. Давай сначала сюда, потом туда.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Так, ну там самая обычная фигня, я пошел вниз. Там самый обыкновенный путь. Это другой путь, который немножко другой.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, From here, it's, left.
Ладно. А я ничего сделать не могу, он открывает дверь. Типа, кровь.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now let's see. We went down right, left, down,
право, лево,
left,
вниз, лево,
right.
право.
Yep. Okay. Yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No! This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Начали сначала. Спасибо. Окей, я знаю, что здесь было. А я мог бы по-любому туда подойти налево.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Вот это хочу. Вот это хочу. Вот это хочу. Там дверь открытая. Открытая дверь там. Ну ладно, пошли сюда. Или куда? Лево, право, давай сюда.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Почему бы и нет? Чего? Зачем? Не хочу.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Я хотел побродить вообще.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Тут, открой мне вот эту дверь. Там я был. Может быть, тут дверь открыта, значит я там могу где-то ходить.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Окей. Сейчас заканчивать уже будем. Опа.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Наконец-то нам сюда. Хочу сюда. Хочу сюда.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Поступим за полосой, да? Так не просто. Ну ладно. Ну и ладно. Двери все закрыты.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Меня ж слышно? Не. Ой, понятно. Сейчас я погромче себя сделаю, 20-ку поставлю. Все, закрыть. Теперь я возьму расширенное. Раз. Нет, она подстроилась и не фонит. Да. Погнали дальше.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
Папоротник. А я не хочу, я иду историю. Я иду по истории.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Я хочу сюда идти, а потом, потом на папоротник. А как мы сюда вообще попали? Мы пошли в лифт вниз. Я хочу...
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore, to hell with it. Restart.
Окей, я запомнил. Еще раз, да?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Окей, сейчас будем ходить просто по офису в рандомных направлениях. Мне это
Now,
нравится.
Yes,
Вот,
this
да,
is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Это я назад вернулся. Да, там были телепорты, я увидел маленький пролаг такой вот, прям чуть-чуть.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it. We should be fine.
Просто не обращай на него внимания, все будет нормально. Полоска, желтая. Угу. Она убежала вверх.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? I think I get to decide. Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know?
Как мы узнаем ответ?
Will someone come for us?
Придет.
Will something happen?
Что-то произойдет.
So, okay.
Ну ладно.
I guess now we just wait.
Видимо, нам нужно просто ждать.
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we?
Мы уже знаем, узнаем когда-нибудь. Но пока что это была типа экстренная перезагрузка какая-нибудь, да?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Где-то мои штучки.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about... What? Really?
Серьезно?
I was in the
Я
middle
как
of
бы
something. Do you
что-то
have zero
оказался
consideration for others?
нет.
Are you
Ты
that
настолько уверен,
convinced
что
that I
я
want
хочу,
something
чтобы с тобой
bad to happen to you?
произошло
Why?
плохое?
I don't know how to
Почему? Я не
convince you
знаю,
of
как
this,
тебя
but I
убедить, но
really do
честно
want to
хочу
help
тебе
you,
показать
to
тебе
show
что-то
you
прекрасное.
something beautiful. Look, let me prove it.
Давайте
Let me
докажу,
prove
докажи,
that I'm
что с
on
тобой
your
на одной
side.
стороне. Дай
Give
мне
me a
шанс.
chance. Now listen carefully,
Ты
this is
слушай, послушай
important.
внимание, это очень
Stanley
важно. Стэнли
walked
шел
through the
в
red door.
красную дверь. Давай сначала пойду не, как он хочет.
Perhaps you
Возможно, ты же
misunderstood.
не понял.
Stanley walked through the red
А я
door.
знаю, что будет.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red
Да,
door.
красный,
Oh,
красный,
thank
читать
God you are
возьмем
willing to
слова.
listen
Ты
to me.
готов меня
Do you see that I
послушать?
really have wanted
Там
you to
была
be happy all
синяя
this
дверь где-то сзади,
time?
да?
The problem is
Да,
all
да,
these
я понял.
choices. The two of us always
Интересно,
trying to get
сейчас
somewhere
во
that
всех
isn't
выборах
here.
в том, чтобы
Running and
попасть
running
в
and
места,
running,
которых
just the
нет,
way you're
бегаем,
doing right
бегаем и
now.
бегаем, как ты
Don't you
сейчас
see that
делаешь.
it's killing us,
Неужели
Stanley?
ты не видишь, что это нас
I
убивает, Стэнли?
I
Просто хочу
wanted to
остановиться
stop.
и буду...
We
Мы оба
would
будем намного
both be
счастливее,
so
если
much
просто
happier
остановимся.
if we
Да уже.
just stopped. And I think, well, I
Просто
think
мне
I have a
кажется, что у меня есть
solution.
выход. Я вам
Here,
покажу.
let me show you.
Идем куда-то. Опа. Там была еще синяя дверь. Что же мы хотим? Чтоб нам
What are we
подобрать?
looking for? Here. Yes.
Вот так,
Oh,
прекрасно.
it's
Вроде.
beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this
Кажется,
place,
я сейчас,
Stanley,
на самом
I
деле.
think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Верите фонарики. Фу, фонарики, дайте мне этот. Ну, не. Все равно красиво, но звездочки лучше. Он просто слишком яркий. Все, я пошел.
No, wait.
Нет,
Where are you
стойте,
going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Ха, сосать. Он меня убил. Бомба, я его убью. Тоже.
No!
Ха.
Oh.
Колобок, ты жив, я начал волноваться. Теперь можно
What are you doing,
вернуться
Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Надо.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Пожалуйста.
Can you, my God, is this really how much you dislike my game? Would you throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a
Или
kick out
тебя
of
это
it.
все просто забавляет?
I don't
Я
know
уже ничего не
anymore.
понимаю. Просто хотел,
I just
чтобы мы
wanted
были
us to get along.
с тобой поладили, но,
But I
видимо,
guess that was too much
ты это
to
не
ask.
хочешь.
It looks like you wanted to make a choice
Действительно
after
хотел сделать
all.
свой выбор.
Well, this one
Ладно,
is yours.
этот выбор на тебе. Блин, он и грустный. Так-то подумать, он...
Is it over?
Все, игра
It's going to
перезапустится, да?
restart,
Снова
isn't it?
назад.
I'm going back.
Блин, его жалко. Блин, тут столько концов. Это, знаешь, это как античембер. Ты вроде ходишь куда-то, вроде что-то делаешь, как бы у тебя все вроде получается, да, ты там делаешь. Там ты захотел посмотреть что-то еще, а куда идти, что делать, ты уже забыл. Давайте там закончим. Я пойду, если вот это input
All of his
есть еще.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Возможно, она просто на другом компьютере и все. Возможно, она в моем офисе или на моем столе.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ну, не в моем офисе точно. Это ни к чему, это ничего не дает. Эти цифры. Туда я ходил уже. И там я ходил, где-то там было. Блин, тут так много всяких мест, концовок и все такое. Так, это коридор. Да, это коридор. Мне нужно направо. Ну, в принципе, тут нет поворота.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Все, давайте на этом закончим. Вот так вот. Кстати, вон видишь, вот мышка. Только там обычная мышка. Там тоже обычная мышка. А там я, в принципе... вот вижу мышку. Там в том дальнем мониторе она есть тоже. Вот я вижу. Не там мышка. Там нету мышки. Угу. Пулю. Вы играете в Stanley Parable. Начать игру. Кредитс. Это типа ты должен сам тыкнуть, или тут все-таки есть какой-то логический конец? Типа ты когда найдешь абсолютно все концовки, тебе вот эту фигню проиграть. Я посмотрю, сколько тут концовок в принципе. Я их все выпишу, если их будет. Не столь много. Типа, если будет больше 100, я все выписывать не буду. И по одной будем вычеркивать, что это. Не надо. Все, есть. Я еще название написал на листике, чтобы не пропустить. Дата сегодня у нас завтра 6, 5, 12. Все. В общем, на этом все. Всем спасибо, кто смотрел. Ставьте лайк, подписывайтесь на канал, пишите комментарии. Жмите на колокольчик, чтобы не пропустить новые стримы. Ну, на этом все. На этом все. Ну, хоть какие-то игры есть. Там еще Flight in Paradise и все такое. Там еще много чего. Можно будет поиграть на 40 гигах диска. Ну, в общем, все. Всем спасибо, всем пока. Завтра будет еще Stanley Parable. На этом все. Goodbye, как говорится.